Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. So the latest buzz in the watch market is that the prices for the most hyped models are coming off, and I'm not going to pretend I can predict where things are going to go. If I could, I would be a rich man. It's the same with the stock market, but what we can do is characterize a bit the quality of the people holding the watches at the moment. I think when we saw premiums, I mean, there was a great interest in watches building up, maybe thanks to the social media effect. And I think 2-3 years ago, when premiums were starting to build and authorized dealers were starting to stop displaying models at the shops, the Patek dealers, the Rolex dealers, the premium started to rise, and up to a level of, say, a Daytona around 60-70% premium. It still kind of reflected real demand. It made sense maybe to buy it if you didn't want to have to wait years to get the watch you wanted. It trickled down all the way to the Air King, and then it sort of kept going to other brands, and I think the hype in Rolex has sold many Bulgari and Cartier. People would buy that in order to get that GMT Master 2 that they wanted, which is quite interesting. But from there on, a lot of just plain speculators, smart guys thinking of watches as the next investment that can't fail, an alternative investment to everything else. And falling stock markets or jittery stock markets started buying up everything to levels 3 times, 4 times retail price. Absolute craziness. And it makes me think that many, if not most, of the watches produced, hot watches at least, produced in the past 2 years, have not even reached the actual end customer. I'm not saying the people holding the watches are not enjoying them, it's more fun than collecting stamps. But the current people holding the Daytonas and all that probably hold it with the expectation of a certain return, And if you can't get it, and if you start losing money, I think things could fall like a house of cards really, really quickly if watches are not that alternative magical investment that we were promised it was. I mean, surely this whole idea of watches as investment is based off the idea that supplies are limited. Yeah, they are somewhat limited, but we are speculating on watches that are still in production. And guess what? Every year there are new models coming in, and there's still the vintage market. There's a ton of metal available in the market, and at some point valuations are so high, so far away from the quality of the watch itself, that there's just too much disconnect, and things could unravel pretty quickly. Now think about it. The Vacheron Overseas has never been the most favorite of that type of watches. It's quite oversized, at least the current generation, and yet they've all gone berserk as well, 2-3 times retail. And who's really buying them? Same thing for the Girard-Perregaux Laureato, also in the same genre of watches. A very good watch in itself, a good watch if you get it at a 20% discount. But then suddenly dealers swipe them up and show them at those inflated prices. The Chrono 24 prices. You and I understand that it is just wishful prices, right? It's not where you as an individual are going to be able to sell your Laureato. $25,000. You're not going to get that for what you paid $8,000. The real market is more like around maybe 15 if you're lucky, if someone is buying into the hype. But if you try to sell your watch, you're going to be fending a lot of lowballers, time wasters, and crooks. And that's why dealers are there. They're in between you wanting to sell your watch and all those time wasters who try to get it at the best price possible. A lot of the perception in price levels also has been built in by those infographics on Instagram, by the immediate access to prices across the world through Chrono24, and then you have the big platforms, the Watchbox, Watchfinder, always a bit showing a bit a higher price than the Chrono24 prices than the dealer on the street. You know, if you go on the street of Hong Kong, the prices are always quite a bit lower than everything, even lower than prices you see on Chrono24 in Japan, although the yen has fallen a lot to 130 to the dollar. Still, real life prices are never quite the same, and are surely not quite the same for an individual. So this is the way I view the market. If I can take an analogy to the stock market, when a company offers stocks in an IPO to the public, bankers will try to place them as much as possible with quality investors, with long-only funds that will hold the stocks and not try to flip it as soon as they make a little profit like a hedge fund. And I think when Thierry Stern was talking about his watches as an investment, he thought the guy buying a 5930, for example, which won't be produced in many numbers and not for many years in the same color, will be able to pass on in 20 years the watch to his kid, and the watch will have gained value. He didn't think it would be passed around like the town tramp, as we have seen on YouTube. Those dealers, you know, in Miami, the trade shows, just handing over all those Pateks like it's just a Bitcoin, and it's really what it has become. It's just cryptocurrency. So there you go. This is the way I see it. I think the quality of the people holding the watches is poor, and it's the type of speculators that would sell as fast as they bought, and we could see prices coming off very quickly. Can't really say it's a prediction, but it's something that is very probable. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye bye.